I don't know, it just hit me like, you're doing it and it's okay. And like, get out your own way, you know? And so, to answer the question about what I do, I still struggle with like saying exactly what I do because I cover so much in life. You know, I really help women in every part of their life. But since I've coached so many people, I've seen like, you know, those similar lines that even though they come to with different things, it's usually around like trying to create a positive mindset because they weren't raised that way, or they maybe picked up on some negative things along the way, and that's how they think and how they see the world. My first career is actually nursing. This is my 11th year. I say about 2019 or so, I decided like I wanted to get into entrepreneurship. My husband has been an entrepreneur his entire life, and I've watched that and just kind of wanting to, initially, it was like wanting to own my own time and me clocking in for 12 hours and being gone all day. I'm just like, I don't really like this. I've never been a fan of, since I got into nursing, say 5 or 6 years into that, of how we do medicine here in the West Coast of the world. Um, and so just I found that also what I was doing was mostly around people, like what they're thinking about themselves and even their health and what's possible. You know, our mindsets were super powerful. And that's what I learned through nursing, that although I was helping them in the medical space, a lot of conversations and things and transformations that were being had were the conversations I had with them. Managing their emotions, because we're not taught that as children. We're kind of really taught the opposite usually, like stuff those emotions
Yeah.
down. You know, we're responsible for other people's emotions. So we do that, like the foundational work that, you know, emotions won't kill you, and helping people to like experience those. And then procrastination, perfectionism is a big deal.
Mhm.
Um, Procrastination, perfectionism is another one because I've kind of named them all together. Um, all of them kind of go under that. And so I pretty much help them see how they're thinking and see how their thinking is really causing their results. Because we don't spend a lot of time getting clear on like what we're thinking and how that drives the bus for us.
We moved into our house and we have screen porch, and I was sitting out there with him and I said, I really want to redo this. I want to paint and get some drapes to hang and blah blah. And so we sat there, we talked for a few minutes, and he said, "All right, let's get some shoes on." Why? Let's go to Lowe's. For what? And he said, "Well, we got to get paint." And I'm like, "Wait, we got a plan." I don't know what I was planning, but we got a
I
plan.
I paid attention to those Nike commercials back in the day. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, and it's like it's going to happen. So why is it not normalized too? And
Yeah.
I think for me in my own personal life and people I've worked with, the conversation always goes back to childhood. And you know, I as a parent, I've done it to my older kids for sure. I'm a lot better with my younger two because I know better. But before me and my mom and their mom and like back and forth, like you got in trouble when you did something wrong, like period. That was just the gist of it. And you were expected, you know, to get it right. And I think at especially in the Black culture, that served us at one point. Like you
Right,
could die if you
right,
got something wrong, right? But
right.
there's a lot of those concepts that we're still holding on to when we're no longer in that unsafe space. So I know this is never going to leave me. It's a
Right,
normal process, and people get to pick and choose how they want to show up online. And I think that's important to decide that
right,
right
right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hear that part. But for me, authenticity is so important, but you can't have that without being vulnerable, right? Because
right,
when you're
right,
sharing you guys' personal story, like it's a little bit of that. I think it's normal. Like, what are they gonna think? You know, what are people gonna think about me?
right, right,
Yeah.
There's people that need to hear that because we've been
right,
together years and y'all never had an argument. Like, wow, something must be wrong with us. We can't make it past 30 days. There was a time where you'd be crazy to say something was wrong with your Black child, that they needed
right,
something, they needed help,
right,
right? It was
Mhm.
unsafe. You know, it's unsafe to do all these things that we can do now. And, you know, I have that conversation with my grandma too. And I have to just remind myself that what she's saying to me is a truth,
mhm.
her
From
perspective.
her, right. I
Right,
like
Hey,
that.
right.
grandma. I appreciate
Right,
it.
right.
And like you say, yeah, okay, all right, you listen, okay, and you just keep on going.
There's a meme going around saying that, like, if something happens bad at 3 a.m., I want my daughter, I don't want my daughter to say, oh shit, what is mom gonna think? I want her to be
Right.
like, "Oh, let me call my mom. I need help."
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Exactly,
Exactly.
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 And that was our thing. I know my mom used to she'd get upset on the phone and hang the phone up in my face and then call back and talk normal. Ma'am, no, I need time. I one thing that I tried to instill in our kids is that success is what you decide success is.
Yep.
Yeah,
And so if you're happy doing X, Y, and Z,
Mhm.
don't let society or your quote unquote friends or family tell you, nope, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. And then that
Yeah.
means that,
Because we told them, it's like, what do you want to do when you get out of school?
mm-hmm,
I wasn't finna be like, I wasn't gonna be the parent to say, you got to do this, you got to go to college, you got to do. We
right.
just want you to do something.
you
Like
need a
you need
plan.
a plan,
Right.
whatever you decide to do, because you're not finna look at me 30,
Right.
20
Sit up
years from
here
now
on my
talking
couch.
about,
I
I
would have
became a
did this
lawyer
if
because
you
you
had
told
told
me.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you know what, too? That it's so funny because it's not just a black community like that. I know a lot of people from India, Philippines, like they, especially Chinese, like
Mm-hmm.
they're also struggling with that from past,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
generations. You're going to do this because
Right.
these certain 3 or 4 things mean that you're important or you're gonna make
Right.
money, whatever. So
Right.
they struggle with that too.